Hi everyone. Alright, we are going on with complex numbers a little bit more today. We're going to solve equations that have complex solutions. And I have a review problem from yesterday I want you to work on. 6 minus 7i over 1 minus 2i. You can turn the camera off, turn your video off for a minute and do the solution, and if you come up with the answer 4 plus I, then you can skip this next part because I'm just going to work that problem out right now. When I have 6 minus 7i over 1 minus 2i, and I will multiply the top and bottom by the conjugate of the denominator so that we can write this in standard form. It's not in standard form if we have a complex number in the denominator. So I'm going to FOIL the top. 6 times 1 is 6, and the outside 6 times 2i is plus 12i. The inside negative 7i times 1 is negative 7i, and then the last negative 7 times 2i is negative 14i squared. I'll simplify it in a minute. Let me just go ahead and work with the denominator also. Now 1 times 1 is 1. 1 times 2i is 2i. Negative 2i times 1 is negative 2i. We really could use the difference of squares pattern we know, because those two are going to cancel out, and then it's just 1 squared minus 2i squared is what's going to happen. But negative 2i times positive 2i is negative 4i squared. Alright, let's deal with the top. I've got 6 plus 12 minus 7i is 5i, and then I'm going to write negative 14. I'm going to replace the I squared with negative 1, and then I've got 1. I'm going to cancel these two. Minus 4 times negative 1. What do we got here? This negative 14 times negative 1 is positive 14. So 6 and 14 make 20. Got 20 plus 5i. And then negative 4 times negative 1 is negative 4. 1 minus negative 4 is 1 plus 4, which is 5. And then to finish it off, I'll put 20 over 5 plus 5i over 5. And 20 over 5 is 4. The 5's cancel out, so it's 4 plus 1i here. Alright, so don't know if you worked through that or not. The next thing, dealing with a little bit of wind here. I'm working outside, beautiful day out. Indian summer day with that. Remember, the discriminant is b squared minus 4ac in ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. And using d for the discriminant, when it's less than 0, we dealt with other cases, like when it was a perfect square, we had two rational solutions. When it was positive but a non-perfect square, we had two irrational solutions. When it was 0, when d was 0, we had one rational solution. Well, now let's deal with the last case here, when d is less than 0. And then we will have if we have that quadratic equation with that, we will have two complex solutions. And not only just complex, they do have an imaginary part. Alright, let's do an example now. I've got 8x squared plus 14x plus 9 equals 0. And A is 8, B is 14, and C is 9. And x equals negative b plus or minus a square root of b squared minus 4ac, all of that over 2a. Okay, make sure I put everything. That's b squared minus 4ac over 2a. All right. Now, as I am inclined to do, I'm going to figure out the discriminant. 14 squared minus 4 times 8 times 9. I'm going to put that in the calculator. 14 squared minus 4 times 8 times 9. I'm getting negative 92 over 16. So our discriminant is negative 92. So we're going to get two complex solutions here. And I'm going to, let me simplify the square root of negative 92. I'm going to take negative 1 times 92, which is 4 times 23. I think that's about as far as we're going to get with it. And then the square root of negative 1 times the square root of 4 times the square root of 23. This is I, this is 2, and this is the square root of 23. Alright, so I got negative 14 plus or minus 2i radical 23 over 16, and I'm going to write that with the 2 radical 23i. I'm going to write it like that right now instead of what I had here. I'm going to put the I as last. So let's split that up. Negative 14 over 16 plus or minus 2 radical 23i over 16. And I'm going to actually put the I beside it. You can put it down here. It's like I over 1 or just I there. And then we'll simplify both parts. I think 2 is a common factor, so I'm looking at 7/8 and here 1, and this is 8. So I've got 7/8 plus or minus square root of 23 eighths times I. Alright, so that's the two complex solutions. 7/8 plus square root of 23 eighths I, or 7/8 minus the square root of 23 eighths over I. Alright, now what I'll have you do is, on page 120, these are odds, so you can look up the answers. Number 67, number 71, and number 73. You guys take care of yourself. If you would, I'll put a spot for you to upload that into Power School, and I hope to see you Friday. Okay, take care now.